us for the Thursday routine briefing. My name is Brandon Locklear. I'm a senior meteorologist here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. And we're going to start out the briefing showing you an update on Hurricane Aaron. Aaron was at its closest approach to North Carolina earlier this morning and is starting to pull away. It's still Category 2 hurricane, and the big thing about this storm is it's a huge system. I think they say it ranks in the top 90th percentile in terms of size. The tropical storm force winds, they extend out to like 320 miles from the center. So again, a very big storm, and you know they are feeling the effects along the coast of North Carolina. In fact, they're expected to feel the effects all along the mid-Atlantic coast over the next couple of days. And most of what we're seeing is dealing with a lot of water, a combination of storm surge and some high tide cycles. So we're dealing with a little bit of coastal flooding along the coast. Those impacts should continue through tomorrow across the Outer Banks, and then we'll start to see the impacts start to diminish over the weekend. For us here in central North Carolina, you know, the big thing we're going to see is a little bit of cloudiness. As you can see, those clouds coming in from the northeast. So we're going to have more clouds today than sunshine. And what will happen is when you do see a few breaks develop and you start seeing a little bit of blue skies and some sun, a little bit of heating, we'll see some gusts up to about 20 to 25 mile per hour range. So mainly just some breezy conditions here in North Carolina. And as we look ahead for the next several days, it's actually going to be a pretty quiet period. And as you see in all these four maps, most of central North Carolina throughout the next 5 to 7 days is generally outside of the rain chances. So right now, we have a very weak front that's sitting over the area, and that's supposed to push through the area by tonight. Could see some isolated showers, maybe a storm across the far western part of the state. But for the most part, it's going to remain dry. Behind that, high pressure will build in. We'll see dry conditions tomorrow continuing into Saturday. And then on Sunday, we're going to have another cold front that will move through probably late Sunday night and into Monday. That will bring us our best chance of rain. And I'm going to preface that saying that there's what I'm seeing in terms of the models. There's a chance we actually may see the rain kind of skip over us. We call that the Carolina split. So right now we're advertising rain chances probably somewhere in the 50 to 70% chances on Sunday. But I would not be surprised if we end up seeing those rain chances mostly going to our south. And a lot of that is with this little area of low you see right here that's expected to develop along the southeast coast over the weekend. So what happens typically is when you start having those systems come in from the northwest, that low develops along our coast, and much of the energy and much of the precipitation will transfer to that low pressure. And so that means that it kind of skips over interior sections. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to see. So either way, we're not expecting to see a whole lot of rainfall from that system. All right. So generally very low precip amounts. And then behind that front, as we get into the middle part of next week, you know, we're really in for a treat. We're actually going to have a very nice taste of fall, where we're going to see temperatures average about 7 to 10 degrees below normal. We're going to see some pretty low humidity levels. That means you're going to be seeing highs in the 70s and start seeing some lows in the 50s. So really outside of Sunday and Monday, we're looking at a stretch of mostly below normal temperatures for the next 7 days. Here's a graphic here showing our 7-day rain, 5-day rain total. And again, you can see that for the most part, the heaviest or the best chances for rain is going to be mostly to our west and south. So in the next 5 days, we'll have the opportunity to continue to see a lot of our creeks, a lot of our rivers and streams continue to fall from those high levels we saw just a week or two ago. Again, looking at the heavy and excessive rainfall threat, we do have it brushing our western part of our state today, but really not expecting a really flooding threat for those counties. And looking at our severe potential, yes, we expect a chance, a very low chance, mostly isolated chances for a thunderstorm, but for the most part, anything that develops will be weak. Looking at our 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, already talked about Aaron starting to pull away, but the tropics are active. And right now, outside of Aaron, the National Hurricane Center, they're monitoring 3 other disturbances. You can see their probabilities here, 30 to 40% chance. And right now, looking at the long-term projections, none of those seem to be a credible threat at this time to the eastern U.S., but we'll continue to watch that. More importantly, we need to remember that we're just starting to enter our peak season. Looking at the 8 to 14 day outlook, and you know, after the next 5 to 7 days of below normal temperatures, it looks like we're going to maintain that pattern favoring below normal temperatures for the next 2 weeks. Rain chances basically near normal, with our best chances of maybe seeing slightly elevated rain will be across our southern counties. And look at those as we look at the normal temperatures. We're really starting to see those temperatures, the normals, go down about 2 to 3 degrees each week. So now we're looking at our normal highs in the mid 80s. And remember, what we're forecasting by this middle part of next week, we're looking at mid to upper 70s. So a really nice stretch of cooler weather. Looking at our graphical HWO, and again, this lightning's probably overplaying its hand, because if there's just a slight detection for some thunderstorms, it's going to flag this yellow, but this is a really, really low threat. So again, not expecting pretty quiet stretch here, not expecting a whole lot of hazardous weather. Our best rain chances, we'll keep that eye on for Sunday, lingering possibly into Monday, but rainfall amount should be pretty light. And then looking at a real air mass change that comes in for the middle part of next week.